guys, Peaches here, and in this video we are going to be talking about the Furry Valley documents. So this is going to be fun. For my own content, I'm not going to be showing these documents on video, so I don't get copyrighted saying that I'm showing their logo or their private documents, that they don't want people to see. So I'm going to be talking about these and not showing them, but talking about a document. So let's start with new admin info. The only document I'm not going to do is the MISC admin, because that one's pretty boring and it pretty much just tells you about the different teams. So let's start off with new admin information. And new admin information 2. Greetings everyone, my name is Simba. Oh, my name is Arsehole. Oh no, did I say a bad word? No, that was the correct word. He is an arsehole. I'm a leader of Furry Valley. Leave Furry Valley. It's a bad place. So congratulate all of passing the application, blah blah blah. Overcoming weeks, teach you and monitor and guide you. So basically put you in chains and keep you in your cage and do what you're told, is what that's saying. Requirements is honest, openness, reliability. Honest? You mean lie to everyone? You're never honest if you're Furry Valley admin. Because you were told, if people talk stuff about FV, anti-FV stuff, if they're talking about the bad stuff, so you were told to lie to them saying FV is a good place. I know all the tactics because I used to work with them. Openness. You're never open to people because most of the admins don't like you DMing them. So you're never open to people or open to anyone, honestly. Because if you're open and talk about the truth, your ass is going to get banned quicker than it could say Bob is your uncle. So, yep, that's a lie. Reliability. No, because they work you overtime, essentially. So they want you to be on there 24/7. Even if you're busy doing stuff, they get mad if you miss the meetings. And because they like to use their meetings in Pacific time, it's a big problem for people like me that live in the UK, because they have the meetings usually about 6 if I remember, and that's about 1 or 2 in the morning for me. Yay! So they got mad at me missing them when I was either asleep or I was busy spending time with my family. So that just shows you how RCV are. And then next one is Truther Bartley Brand Highly. You're having a laugh, aren't you, Simba? And then it says, which I find really funny, do not, or under any circumstances, communicate with people that are banned from Furry Valley, or any of the untitles past or present relating to us, or relating to anything with one, you'll lose your admin position if you do this. So basically, if anyone's anti-FE, don't talk to them. You know why they don't want you to talk to them? Because they know the truth that Simba does all these awful things behind the server's back, and he overworks people like they're dirt, and he gets away with it. And funny enough, he says he don't want to talk to people who are banned because the people who were banned are the people that know the truth, which I find kind of ironic. It basically shadowcoats them, saying they're anti-FE and bad people, when they're the good people that are actually telling you the bad side of Furry Valley, which is just in general Furry Valley as a whole. The whole thing is bad. It's more bad than a rotten tomato. So admin tier system, that's a lie. You worked up to what tier they think that you're good at, and then you're stuck there. So they bully you into a tier, and then you're stuck at that tier. So for me, I was stuck at tier 3 for probably about a year or two before I got banned. And same with Fallen Gone. Fallen Gone, it's one of my friends. I'll have him linked down in the description if you want to see his videos about Furry Valley. He's a really awesome content creator, and I'll recommend having a look at his channel down in the description after this video. And he was a T3 like me for a long time, and then he was pushed up to a T4. But they didn't really want him a T4. So he got to T4, but he wanted to go higher than that. They wouldn't want him to. They kept pushing him down further and further until he eventually had enough and quit. That's how FE treat their staff, is they'll just stay at a certain level and mock you behind your back and bully you, and then eventually you'll get annoyed of them not doing anything about it, and they'll ban you. That's just how a Furry Valley works with the staff, unfortunately. Brainwashed to do that. So I believe that's all there. Misk team pretty much is just telling you about the different teams that they done. Like, I was on the Twitter team and I was on the YouTube team. They also done a Telegram and Instagram. I think they done a Furry now, long time ago. They done a Twitch, they done YouTube. They done a lot of different ones. And you're set to each team, and you're set to do those meetings on that team. Usually Pacific time. I'm not a fan of Pacific time. And yeah, that's just how we worked, people. And honestly, it was a rubbish tier system. It was a pain in the arse. So let's look at the Twitter troll list meeting, which is one of the teams I was in. The Twitter troll list had a couple of different descriptions. Announcements, which are announcements of a Twitter from Furry Valley, which is pretty self-explanatory. Twitter block list, which is a fun one. You know what's really funny? I actually never blocked anyone that was banned from Furry Valley on that block list. I refused every time to block people on our list because I knew back then that those people that were blocked were actually talking the truth. And some of those people that were actually blocked were some of my good friends that I'm still friends with today. So I wouldn't block my friends because some cunt on the internet told me to block them. So that's one part of Furry Valley that I did good in, because I refused to follow their orders by blocking people. And that's probably the only good point that I did, because at this point all the Furry Valley admins have blocked me, and the new trialists have blocked me. So it just goes to show, if you listen to these people on the block list, they're talking the truth, and Furry Valley want to hide the truth and pretty much put it under the cover. Twitter discussions, just a discussion discussing different Twitter stuff. Pretty self-explanatory. Then there was Twitter links, which was submit a link to your Twitter account, and that was actually removed before it got banned, so Twitter links isn't really important anymore. Twitter tweets, basically just retweets for the valid tweets and the content creators, which, funny enough, a lot of people didn't like you doing that, and people that were against Furry Valley used to block you on a regular when you was with them. So my suggestion is, don't join them, and if they ask you why you're not blocking people if you are with Furry Valley, that's because the people that they say to block are telling the truth. And there's certain tasks to be done, like a retweet and so on. And then MISC, as I've already said, MISC was just for different teams. And let's go on to the spicy one, which the next spicy one I have, funny enough, is ComAdmin. And ComAdmin pretty much just told you all of the different people doing different stuff. And I know this one's pretty old because one of the ComAdmins no longer does stuff. Funny enough, Coda, it's Ziva. I've even been blocked by the Furry Valley Coda for one of those for Furry Valley bot stuff, and codes all of the stuff on the Discord server. So I think that's quite an accomplishment for being blocked by all of the staff and the Coda that does the bot. And then let's have a look at the other. For some reason these are all over the place for me. And then the com tells you all of the different people. Arseholes. All of the different people that do the different stuff. Some of them were nice people. Yes, some of them were nice staff. But as soon as you get banned, they backstab you. And when I mean backstab you, they do. As I've had every one of the nice ones to me, and the ones that were arseholes, block me. Unfortunately. And then, let's have a look at MISC. MISC was fun because MISC just told you, and the new joins, basically spam people's DMs that say, hey, you're new to Furry Valley, check the rules. That's more how you treat a server. How you run a server is you put them in a separate chat for rules, and then you let them read through the rules so they can get comfortable and then understand the rules. You don't go in their DMs and spam their DMs. Same for roles. That's how people get pissed off, and that's how people get annoyed at your admins for doing that. Buddy system was a waste of time because you invited these new people to this buddy system to help them through the server, and then someone higher tier than you stepped in and pushed you out of the way to help them, even though there was your own buddy on that system. That's how backwards the staff was. I wonder if it's still like that. I would be curious if any of Furry Valley staff are watching this, if you still use the buddy system and you still treat people like that. Community engagement. Basically just engage on a chat. That's pretty easy to understand. I don't think anyone's going to be hard understanding that. And then art. No one really cared about art. Because, funny enough, for art, it was stolen art. Oh no, did I say a bad word? Stolen art? Yep, it was stolen. And when you questioned about where the art come from or the artist had done the stuff, your arse would get banned quicker than saying Nanny McPhee. So, art is a funny one, isn't it, Simba? Because you deliberately ban people for saying who the artist is and if you have permission to put the art there. Monitoring and publicising. That's really funny because monitoring was just checking the chats and seeing if there's any people spamming the chats or trolls. The funny thing is, I was a T3 at the time still, and a couple of times I saw a few trolls in the server spamming the chat quite badly, and unfortunately I DM'd the staff and stuff and someone spamming and I was doing my job, and then they got pissed off at me for doing my job. So that's another backwards hand with the staff, is they got angry at me for doing what I was supposed to do and tell the higher tier staff that this person's being a nuisance and needs to get kicked or banned, and they got mad at me for doing my job. So the moral of the story is, if you're in FE, please leave Furry Valley and let it rot till there's like 0 people in that server. And if you know anyone of the staff, I'm more than happy for the staff to rage in the comments, especially you, Zavis. Any comments, new stuff, old stuff like Zavis, which no one likes. So that's been Peaches, signing out.
No.